I want to talk about this, Nuria, because you got it head on, and I think it's very important because my intellectual hero, and I've been so proud of it. I've been trying to get a hold of him, and eventually, when I was in England, I went to see him, and he
Oh
read my
yes,
book.
this is your pinned tweet, isn't it, on your
This is
Twitter
my
as
this is
well?
my pinned tweet. This is it, July the 27th. I did it, and Richard Dawkins tweeted about me. He said, "This book by the Hari Sultan is a fine critique of Islam, including a chapter on the character of Muhammad and the fatuous claim that the Quran anticipated embryology and other modern sciences." So that I pinned this tweet. I said, okay, this made my day, probably made my year. I finally got to meet my intellectual hero, Richard Dawkins, who nearly 13 years ago changed my life. I'm over the moon that you liked it, Professor. So I initially thought, and I think I spoke with you. I said, what if he just throws my book? And you
Yeah.
said no intellectual of his caliber throws a book away.
No
So
way.
I think it took him a week, and then he read this book.
Yeah.
And I thought that because he only mentioned 2 chapters, the character of Muhammad and the science in the Quran, I thought maybe he just read those 2 books. But he actually read it all in its entirety. You know how I know this?
How?
Because
How? I want to know how, because I
because he
don't.
made this tweet. He said, okay, so he's quoting, "You're Islamophobic." No, I'm phobic about FGM, whipping women for being raped, pushing gays off buildings, honor killing, death for apostasy, extramarital sex, etc. Teaching children anti-scientific nonsense. I'm not Muslimophobic. Muslims are main victims of the above. So he used the word
Hey, he quoted your
Muslimophobic.
word.
He used the
Yes.
word Muslimophobic. I'm the only one who uses that word. And I wrote that word in my book. I should have had the screenshot, but in my last
Yeah.
chapter, Islamophobia, and I said anti-Muslim bigotry or Muslimophobic. Muslimophobic is the word that I've used quite a lot. But anyway, so let's move on from that. So thank you, Professor. We're always there. We're always there for you. But it was so.
And he's
This
probably
show.
read your book, Horace. That's so
No, I think he has. I think he has. Now I believe he has.
great. He's taken Islamophobia from it. We could even maybe guess he might have.
No. The giveaway is Muslimophobic. There's O in there because a lot of people said, Harris, why are you saying Muslimophobic? Just say Muslimphobic. But I was like trying to rhyme it with Islamophobic to Muslimophobic. So that's why I was using it. So Professor used my term. So I coined a term which has been used by my intellectual hero, by the way. Anyway, so this tweet.
Bloody brilliant. Kudos. If that's honestly, if that checks out, Muslimophobic, that's your little patent right there.
But the tweet has caused a lot. Tunisia, that's a Urdu Desi term. But look at this: 2,248 tweets, 335 quote tweets, 13.1 likes. A lot of people loved it. Dawkins, my man. But guess who came in because he thinks that he's some sort of a freaking intellectual giant of our time, representing the greatest religion of all time? Hijab.
Yeah.
And he got blocked by Sam Harris as well because he totally did not understand Sam Harris's free will argument.
Yeah.
Because that's what happens when you think that he's too smart.
The top dog. Yeah.
So I know. So he responded. Our brother Mohammed he responded.
What a brilliant.
He would have taken his shirt off, shown his big beer belly. No, not beer belly. I don't know what they eat, but that
well, they definitely don't drink beer, that's for sure. So that's a wrong statement.
But when he took off his shirt, sorry, that wasn't. Yeah, you're a big dude, but that wasn't an appeasing photo shot. But anyway, all right, let's have a look. So what he said. He said, "FGM provide evidence." Okay, we'll show you evidence. Whipping women for being raped, false. That's not what he said. He said whipping women for being raped. Yeah, that's true. Pushing off
but this
gay
is the evidence he's provided. Let's just go with that,
okay? Yeah.
He's refuting this, okay? So this is his refutation.
And I'll give him my refutation.
Yeah. No, this is Mohammed Hijab's refutation.
I know. So I'm reading that, and then I'll give my refutation after that.
Yeah, but I was just saying that him saying false is his refutation. Do you get what?
Yes.
Never mind. All right.
But why is he saying false? He's just simply saying it's false. He denied
it. Yeah. He's asking. That's what I'm saying. Can you see? He's asking him to provide evidence, and then following on to go false, without giving any ounce of like.
And pushing gays off building didn't even bother responding to it. So
No, he
because
didn't even
that's
respond to that. Yeah.
he didn't
Although,
respond to
go
it.
on.
Honor killing, false. Okay, death for apostasy, extramarital sex is death for apostasy for treason in an Islamic state. Yeah, okay, you want to call that treason? Sure. Extramarital, 100 lashes before marriage. Before marriage. So he's right. Extramarital, you doofus. Extramarital means someone who's married and then have an extramarital affair. Yeah, that's what it means, you doofus. He didn't say for fornication, meaning single people having sex. That 100 lashes for those ones. You idiot. Extramarital is from people who are married and having unmarried cheating on their partners. Is stoning to death for them. What a clown. Teaching children anti-scientific nonsense. False. Yeah, okay. Flying donkey is so scientific. You don't know the basics, boy. Okay, so anyway. So our Nuria Khan responded to it. Let's see Nuria Khan's response. I know, Nuria, you were trying to be very concise and you just say FDM Shafi
Yeah, because
obligatory.
Twitter doesn't really let you elaborate anyway. So
Yeah, so she's saying FDM Shafi is obligatory, others recommended or prefer. Whipping women for being raped, Quran 24:2, which includes rape. And I'll respond to that in a bit better detail. Honor killing, research guide, draw your own conclusion. I try to read that. It is, I think, what is it? 90% of honor killings happen in the Muslim world, and then there's some in
exactly.
India.
It's basically a bunch of publications. So I was just like, listen, there's the data on that about honor killings, but you can see largely and primarily, predominantly, it's always in Muslim majority countries. Why? What's the common denominator, and what are the factors influencing it? The conclusions drawn in every single one of those PDFs, like researches that were taken place, it was all coming down to Muslim majority countries. There's a clear pattern, but of course, because there's no like actual thing of like honor killing equals Islam, they're going to constantly refute that. But the phenomenon as we see it as a living, breathing reality is in Muslim majority predominant countries. That's
But
just
also,
a fact.
but I think you also missed the point. You said extramarital, 100 lashes. Yes, he's right, but it could be fatal. So
no, extramarital is a relationship outside of marriage. Yeah.
Yes.
So that's not necessarily adultery. Outside of marriages, I could be single as well.
No, extramarital means that if you're married and then you have an extramarital affair. Is that what it means?
No,
so maybe I'm a doofus then.
It means a relationship occurring outside of marriage, whether I'm single.
Okay, so maybe I'm the doofus then.
Adultery is the other one.
All right, so as an outside of marriage. Oh, okay, I take that back. Okay, he's not a doofus. I'm a doofus then. You could have corrected me then.
Well, I was like, oh, did you read the? I was waiting for it to come up anyway,
right.
And I thought you.
I actually always thought that extramarital means that you're married and then you're having an extramarital affair, but you're saying that outside of marriage. Okay, so let's just say,
like what the UAE just legalized, right? Extramarital affairs, like you can sleep with someone outside of marriage.
Okay, but does that? And so hang on. So wouldn't that consider outside of marriage as well? Like if I'm married and now I'm sleeping
outside of marriage means you're not married yet.
At all. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. English is not my first language. I'm going to pull that card out.
Okay. You got loads of cards up your sleeve, mate. Just saying. Pack your card, the racism card, the non-English speaker card.
I'm gonna use all the privileges I have.
That's all right. We got you, homeboy.
But regardless of that, so basically he's trying to catch Dawkins on.
Yeah, that's the point. That's the crux. He's trying to catch Dawkins out. Exactly.
He's trying to catch Dawkins on a technicality. So if he had said adultery, death for apostasy and adultery, his statement would have been true, right? That's what he would have meant. So fine, he just made a technical error, but
he shot himself in the foot by saying 100 lashes, because 100 lashes, even in the 21st century, it's not a much better thing to suggest, mate. Also, that's why I said could be fatal, because when you lash someone 100 times, that could prematurely lead to their death, and it could be fatal. It's not like a punishment that warrants the crime. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's just it's even that as a defense does not hold up. So you're not trying to make Dawkins look like a mug.
Actually, no, someone is telling me, Harris, you're right. Extramarital sexual relationship is one between a married person and someone who is not their husband. I said, There you go. Extramarital affair. So I should
But that's
fact
an
check you as well.
extramarital affair.
Yeah.
It's just it's very semantic. Like whether you
No,
want to say
no, I'm right then. Extramarital sex occurs when a married person engages in sexual activity with someone other than spouse. But both of you are doofuses.
no,
I am right.
hold on. But what's 100 lashes for in Islam then?
Fornicators. You are not married. I'm not married, and we go some funny business. Then 100 lashes for me. If I'm married, then let's just say you're
what's
not
the
married.
difference? Yeah.
If I'm married to a woman and you're, let's
Yeah.
say either you're married or you're not married, doesn't matter. Actually, there's a hadith for it as
No,
well.
choose one. Just so let's make it clear. So if I'm married,
I am married. You're
you're
not.
married. Okay.
Yeah, I'm married to a wife, and then I have sex with you outside my marriage. That would be labeled. That is something that would be called extramarital affair, and then I will be stoned to death. You will be given 100 lashes. That's what it is.
You would be stoned to death.
Extramarital includes, there's a hadith for it. There was a guy who comes to Prophet and he says, my son has had sex with a married woman, and the father says that I'm trying to rescue my son, and I'm willing to give them so many sheep and cows or whatever, camels or whatever. Please don't kill my son. So Prophet Muhammad said, sorry, your son needs to be given 100 lashes because he was unmarried. But the woman he had sex with, she was married, so she needs to be stoned to death.
Okay, so it all depends on if you're married, if you're the married party.
Yes, and the married.
Okay, so that's why it's so complicated. Okay.
So when a married person does it,
it's when a married person does it with a non-married person.
No, he could do it with a married person as well. So let's say we were both married.
But then the punishment's different. Then you're both stoned to death.
Then we both stoned to death. But when marriage is involved, it's called extramarital. So
but only the married person is stoned to death. Is what you're saying.
but we're talking about the semantics of extramarital. Extramarital sex occurs when a married person engages. So for me,
so the married person would die according to Islam.
Yes. So Professor Dawkins and I are on the same side, and we win again. And Mohammed Hijab, you're a doofus. Professor Dawkins is right. Where is that hadith?
Wait, let me see what Mohammed Hijab said to that, though.
No. He said, no. There's a death for apostasy, extramarital sex. Yes, he's right. There's death for extramarital sex.
You do. If you're the married party, you're saying if extramarital sex, let's just break this down. So when Dawkins says extramarital sex, he means that if you are the married party in that crime, you're going to be stoned to death. But the other person who's not married would be lashed 100 times, right?
Well, this is one of those finest moments when a Paki corrects someone, a native British English speaker, educating them on what a true English language is. Where is my friend John?
My days. No, oh my God. Funny you mentioned John, because the news report I do for John, he wrote the text, he wrote the script saying, the UAE has legalized extramarital relationships, and by mistake in the thing when I was doing the take I said extramarital affairs, and I went, whoops, I don't mean extramarital affairs, I mean extramarital relationships. And he texted me saying, oh, I was going to keep that little blunder in, it's so funny. And I was like, oh my God, I realized like I shouldn't be propagating affairs.
English teacher, man.
But he said extramarital relationships, so by that logic I was thinking I was applying extramarital to this. Anyway, either way, in the Quran, you get 100 lashes or you get stoned to death. None of those hold up.
But Andrew made another point. However, on the basis of hadith, the penalty for an offender who is a Muslim, adult-free Muslim, and married at least once. So even if you were married once before, and it's still, so now you're single and you go fornicate with someone, that would be considered as adultery and you'll be stoned to death.
But if you're not married once, you'll just be lashed.
So so basically the logic behind that is now you've known the beauty of Islamic, you've known the beauty of relationship between a husband and wife. That's why you should have never done that. Okay, so Mr. Doofus, Muhammad Hijab, you kind of got away with it, but I gotcha. So anyway, so there's a hadith for everything. So let's just go point by point with what he said. Okay. Oops. Let's go back to my responses to Hijab, brother Hijab. So Hijab says, FGM, provide evidence. Okay, let's just have a look. Sahih! There's a Sahih hadith for everything. What is Aisha talking about here? it is either Aisha promoting two gay circumcised men or talking about male and female circumcision. Oh wait, the next hadith clarifies it. So what am I talking about? Let's have a look. Can everyone read it? So Aisha narrated that the Prophet said, when the circumcised meets the circumcised, then ghusl, meaning bath is required. So is she talking about two gay men? Circumcised part meets another circumcised part? Is that what he's talking about? She's talking about?
You
Of
tell me,
course
mate.
not.
Yeah.
Of course not, because gay sex is not allowed. And I think bath would be the least of their worries. Yeah. Okay. There would probably, if Aisha was talking about two gay men having sex, meaning two circumcised penises meeting each other, then bath is not what they're worried about. They would be thinking about
Trying to help because of what Allah did to Prophet Lot.
No, they would be thinking about growing some wings because they would be thrown off rooftops. Okay. Next bit. So actually the next hadith, there's a hadith for everything. This is a Sahih hadith. Next one, Jamia Tirmidhi 108. So Aisha said it in other words, when the circumcised meets the circumcised, then indeed ghusl is required, then indeed bath is required. Myself and Allah's messenger did that. So we, after our good times, heavy good times, circumcised. Look at the chapter. What has been related when the two circumcised organs meet? Two circumcised. So did Prophet have two circumcised penises? No. Female circumcision. That is the evidence, Hijab.
I didn't know that Aisha had FGM done to her then, in this case.
Yeah, well, everyone did. Everyone did. This is the hadith that clarifies it.
This is so contentious. Okay, because even I didn't.
You didn't know it. That doesn't mean it didn't exist.
No. But also, that's not a thing in mainstream. Like we don't. It's like I'm talking about my Muslim days. We don't. Yeah, my Muslim days we don't expect any. And even now, the Muslim sources I read say that none of the Prophet's wives were had FGM done to them, which is why it's a kind of a niche thing done in obscurity.
Well, there you go. There's a hadith for everything, mate.
No, I didn't. Did you know that Aisha had FGM done to her?
I knew that.
I did not know that.
I didn't know that it was done to her, but I knew that she had given this the ghusl part. There was another hadith which is daif, in which it said there was a woman who used to perform female circumcision,
and she said to the Prophet, "Should I stop?" And he said, "Yeah, no, you don't need to stop, but when you do it, just do this much."
Yeah,
because
don't cut too deeply or something like that. So, but that's a daif hadith, and that's the one that Muslims use. But what about this, Muhammad Hijab? Sorry, Hijab, there is a hadith for everything, right? Okay, so FGM settled, sorted, done. Professor Dawkins once, Hijab 0. Okay, next one. Should we carry on? I reckon I'll give half a point to Hijab on something because he did get something right. Professor Dawkins said whipping women for including getting raped. So whipping women for being raped, and he just outright said false. So let's make it simple from our Mimi. A woman has reported forced sexual intercourse. I'm just using that term on purpose. The rapist has said it was consensual. Which rapist never uses that argument? And there are no full witnesses. What would happen, genius? Mr. Doofus, do you think the Qadi is going to kiss them goodbye? So this is one of the biggest problems in Islamic jurisprudence. And you know what's the common answer they give you? The fuqaha. They say if a woman cannot produce 4 witnesses, she should keep quiet. Because if she says, I've been raped, that means sexual intercourse has taken place. And if a man says, sorry, it was consensual, so now he's already admitted that there was sexual intercourse. So sexual intercourse is out of the equation now. Now the question is whether that was forced or not. So if she cannot produce 4 witnesses saying that it was forced, sorry, you've committed adultery. If she's married, stoned to death. If she's not married, then flogging. So that is what Dawkins is providing. So Mr. Doofus, Mr. Mimi, Mr. Golden Shower Hijab boy, you got that wrong again. So Dawkins 2 and Hijab 0. What happened to that comment? You don't know the basics. It looks like, son, you don't know your own religion. Let's have a look at the next one. I think he might be onto something here. The honor killings. The honor culture stems from Islam and keeping women indoors. There's a Quranic verse that says, Prophet wives don't talk to other men politely because it may give sexy feelings to other people. So when they talk to you, you need to talk to them in a firm voice. That's one of the Quranic verses. There's a hadith that women should not go out only for important matters like going to pray, but it's better if they pray at home. So that gives rise to honor culture. And this is the primary reason why 90% of honor killings happen in the Muslim world. And then I think the distant second is India. Distant second. 90% one, and then the Nuria's tweet showed that ResearchGate article. It's an academic paper, so go have a look. It's overwhelming majority of honor killings happening in. So you could argue, Mimi Hijab, that it's not directly sanctioned in Islam, but I think it is. I think this is honor killing. If a woman is stoned to death for having sex, that is honor killing. If a woman is whipped for having sex, she defied her male guardian's orders, that is honor killing. You can spin it whichever way you want. So I'll give you half a point that maybe the actual term honor killing isn't introduced in Islam, but this culture stems from subjugation of women and not giving them bodily autonomy. That's the reason. And this is the reason why we don't see any of your women online. Not that you are a public person, so not that is you could have security reasons as well, which is fair enough. But if that wasn't the case, still the people who follow you can have a look. You would never find the females photos. Ali Hijab showed the back of his wife's head. So that is just what shows what the honor culture is. You have complete control of women. That is what Islam directly comes from. Islam is not the only perpetrator. Yes, other cultures do the same, but in this stage, sorry, mate, your religion is the biggest source of honor killings, and it's coming from that. So anyway, I'll give you half a point. So Richard Dawkins also gets half a point because he's right. He shouldn't have used the word honor killing, but he should. Actually, no, he should have used the word honor. This is a direct result of Islam. So 2.5 points for Dawkins. Hijab is fast catching up with half a point. Let's move on to the next one. Okay, let's have a look. Oh, by the way, 3 for our friend Dawkins, because Mohammed Hijab didn't even bother correcting Richard Dawkins on throwing gays off rooftops. Where is it? So, pushing gays off buildings. So Mohammed Hijab didn't even deny that, didn't even refute that. So Richard Dawkins, 3.5. 1, 2, 3.5. What is our hijab on? Only half a point. Okay, let's just get on with it. What's the next one? Death for apostates, for treason in an Islamic state. This is what Hijab said. Treason. This is treason. Okay, yes, that makes it very respectable. For treason, we're going to kill you. And they love quoting. They love saying that the United States has death for traitors. Okay, how many people in the United States have been put to death or executed in the name of treason? How many? And America is not just a modern country. There was a lot of barbarity in early America as well, pre-Civil War especially. No one person has ever been executed in the name of treason in the United States. So, yes, although I would agree, maybe they should not have death penalty, but they haven't even carried it out. But what have you done, Mr. Mimi Hijab?
I do give him credit, though, on one thing, that Islam, if you want to take it from a very literalist point of view, the word apostate, literally is akin to treason in Islam, which means going against the state. But that only intensifies what I think is the view that Islam is a political movement.
Exactly.
Because
Very good point.
if apostasy is akin to treason, that means you've essentially defied the state. You've gone against the state. What does that tell you about the religion itself? It is the formation of this expansionist, imperialistic political movement, as opposed to being an actual, like spiritually based religion. Apostasy means treason, means you need to die. That's actually capital punishment for going against the state of Islam. Islam is a state in that sense. So
And not only just death,
he's not wrong.
Not only just death, but also a very brutal one. Indeed, the penalty for those who wage war against Allah and His Messenger, spread mischief in the land, is death, crucifixion. Woo! Well, that's one peaceful religion. Cutting off their hands and feet on opposite sides. First, you got to do that, maybe. Or exile from the land. I think Hijab takes the exile option. He says that if Western governments are willing to take them, we'll send them there. So Hijab is there's still some humanity left in him. There's still some humanity left in him. But anyway, so let's just go on with this. So yes, but anyway, that makes it as though it makes it very respectable. By the way, did Ali commit sin here? Can you answer that one? Some people apostatized after accepting Islam, and Ali burned them with fire.
He burned them with the fire that's only acceptable for God to burn people with, remember?
Yeah, if it had been, so Ibn Abbas corrected him. He said only God can do it. Messenger of Allah said it. So, but also, I think we've shared this before, where Muhammad was also very keen of killing people with fire. There's Sahih Bukhari 3016. It said, Allah's messenger sent us in a mission and said, if you find so and so and so and so, burn both of them with fire. But when they were about to depart on this mission, Muhammad had a change of heart. He said, I've ordered you to burn so and so, and it is none but Allah who punishes with fire. So Muhammad, not out of his good nature and thought that, this is so barbaric and brutal to burn people with fire. Muhammad just said, maybe, I need to find an excuse. So only Allah can be this brutal. So did Ali commit a sin here, Muhammad Hijab? According to Muhammad, only Allah can do this. And again, you're basically saying it's akin to
treason.
Treason. Then, so your country cannot have minorities then. There is no compulsion in religion is bullshit, because
that's what the Maulvi said to us earlier in the video, remember? He said if you haven't got the message, you should have got it. You should have gone out there and got the message.
Yeah, so there's no compulsion in religion is bullshit. So this is against your own Islamic. So hang on. So we've got Professor Dawkins right again. 4.5 points for Professor Dawkins. Hijab is still lingering at 0.5 point.
Wait, I'm not keeping this tally. What is it? 4.5 to Dawkins and half to
point
Hijab.
To Hijab.
I'm just writing it. Okay, cool.
Okay, here we go. Extramarital, 100 lashes before marriage. Ooh, yeah, do first. So you cheeky man, you forgot to add what happens if they have an affair after marriage. Here, this is what happens. Again, no civilized society can accept your cult of barbarian. Barbarians, be good to her. So there was a woman who confessed to adultery. Muhammad said, be good. Be good to her. And if she gives birth to her child, then tell me. So he did so and so, and then he gave the order that her clothes be bound tightly around her. Then he ordered her to be stoned, and she was stoned. So this woman had an extramarital affair. Get it? Extramarital affair. She was married, and
she was the married party in this, basically.
Yeah, she was a married party in this, and she had sex, and she got that right. No 100 lashes for her son. Stoning to death. That's what extramarital means. If you're married and you go on, man, you are terrible, Muhammad Hijab. I thought you was something special. Okay. Last one. So anyway,
I think it's a tricky one. I just think it's a tricky one. Like we all slipped up a bit, because if one party is unmarried, the punishment is different. Like that's the problem again with Islam as well. Like with the whole rape punishment, it is though. No, like even with the treason thing, he's interpreting it from a side which it
but
can
extramarital,
stand, but showing the opposite. Yeah, so the person who's married is stoned. We get that, and that's what you're showing for sure.
That's what Dawkins is saying. We're trying to say what Dawkins said and how he's trying to refute him.
Yeah, no, 100%.
So he's wrong in his refutation. Extramarital, death by stoning. That's it. End of story.
Extramarital for the married party, yes. It's stoning.
You can't have an extramarital affair if you're not married.
But she could have an extramarital affair being married with
her.
a man who's not married, and he would get lashed and she'd get stoned as per.
Okay, let me explain that again. If the person who's married and he has sex is extramarital for him, the person he's having sex with, if she's not married, then it's not called extramarital for her.
That's what I'm saying. So what punishment does that person get? 100 lashes, right?
That person gets lashing. But Dawkins is saying if you have an extramarital affair, you get killed. That's it.
That part we fully agree with. You've given him that point already.
No, I'm giving that in detail now with my screenshots. So I'm saying he's wrong with that one because that one extramarital.
Yeah, but I'm just saying hijab is coming at it from
the angle. He misunderstood the meaning of it.
Get 100 lashes, which is in the Quran.
But that's not extramarital. Then that's just fornication. That's a clear definition defined
that's if two people are complicit in an affair, for one of them it's extramarital.
No, you're still not getting it. Extramarital would only be labeled for the married party. Forget about the other person. Forget about the other person, whether the other person is married or not. It would only be called extramarital. For me, whether I have sex with a married woman or an unmarried woman, if I have sex while I'm married, that's it. That's I had an extramarital affair. That's what it would be called. So
if you want to take it like that, then sure, it's stoning, and then hijab is wrong. Sure, okay.
That is the only way. That is exactly what Professor Dawkins said. Extramarital. He's saying extramarital hyphen 100 lashes before marriage. Sorry, before marriage, it's not even called extramarital. That's fornication. It's not called extramarital. Yeah. That's what he's saying.
It's just weird because the UAE has used the exact same terminology to give.
Yeah, because maybe it's a flaw in the schools you went to.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe it is, but that's obviously
you guys didn't get it. Yeah, so extramarital means only person who is married, and outside of marriage means that he's married and he's doing something outside of his marriage. That's what it means. Okay, last one. Teaching. So what is it? Professor Dawkins 5.5 or 4.5. Mohammed Hijab is only on 0.5 point. Teaching children anti-scientific nonsense. False. All right. Okay. So this is my favorite. So your prophet didn't fly to heaven on a winged donkey. Professor Dawkins might not have too much interest in your pathetic ideology, but after his interview with Martin, what's his name? Mehdi Hassan, he knows our old friend Barak, the guy with an animal smaller than a horse, bigger than a mule, with the head of a woman. Man, there was a woman there as well, and he wanted to mount her as well. There's way more. Like salt water doesn't mix with fresh water. Sun goes around the earth. Embryology copied from Galen, which both of them turned out to be false. What else? There's so many. Mountains as pegs from the top. Moon being split in two. There's way too many. And obviously, Professor Dawkins is most pissed about the denial of evolution. Your PhD Malangi, Sabur Ahmed, even he can't defend it because I got it wrong. I thought he was doing PhD in biology. No, he's not doing PhD in biology. He's doing PhD in philosophy of biology, meaning he's just gonna learn some word salad, chew it in, and spit it out. That's what he's gonna do. Philosophy of biology. You don't know. So Dawkins, let's just review the points table, shall we? This is what Dawkins said. Here we go. Let's wrap it up at this point. FGM, well, we gave you evidence. Whipping women for being raped. Yes, we gave you evidence. We gave you a perfect scenario. Challenge for Mohammed Hijab. If he can refute me, refute me. Pushing gays of buildings, he didn't even bother to respond. So that's 3 points. 3 points straight off the bat. Richard Dawkins off to a great start, off to a flying start. Honor killing, that's the 0.5 point because honor killing is not directly called honor killing, but it does directly stems from Islam. So 0.5 point for here for our Professor Dawkins here, and also 0.5 point for Mohammed Hijab. That's the only one. So 3.5 versus half. Death for apostasy, extramarital sex, yes. Let's hope he understands the meaning of extramarital sex. That is it. Extramarital. If you're married, have sex, boom, death, stoning, and by a mob. 4.5 points. Teaching children anti-scientific nonsense. 5.5 points. I'm not Muslimophobic. Muslims are main victims of the above. So that's it. Richard Dawkins wins hands down. And I think Professor Dawkins should block your ass, just like Sam Harris did, because you are a clown boy. Go audition for WWE. Anyway, that's all I had to say. To help me produce more videos like these, support me on Patreon or PayPal.